Welcome back, everybody. It is game number 2 now between Team NP and Complexity Gaming. I'm back with Purge. Purge, we already see a bit of a draft. You feeling better about Complexity this time around because they have the Wisp? Oh god, did I lose Purge?
Oh, I messed up this time.
Okay. I was like, oh no, what did I mess up?
I was gonna mess. I do that with Slacks all the time. I pretend I can't hear him, but I press wrong push to talk. I always have to move it over when I do cast him. My bad. I feel better about the IO this game. Ursa's a really good start as well, so they have some off-lane advantages there. They won't necessarily have to commit 3 heroes to their safe lane like they did last time. And but we'll see if NP does abuse aggressive tri lanes like they did before.
What do you
That's
think?
really what's gonna change it.
When do you think NP picked up Rubik against a first pick Wisp?
Well, could be strat setups. Could be that they really like the passive out of the aura. It's quite good, 10% magic resistance for 1 skill point. Lift is instant. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, against an IO. I guess it's an AoE stun when you drop it, so you're likely to catch 2 heroes instead of like the carry and the support, perhaps.
Yeah.
But past that, I'm not quite sure. I guess you'll get Fade Bolt on both, but other than that, I'm unsure really.
Yeah, I was a little bit confused by it as well. I was like, maybe it's just like a support they just like to be able to run, and they feel like it's okay for an opening 1-2. But the only time I've seen Rubik picked up was when it was like against Omni Knight, right? So it was like Omni Knight was picked up, and I think they had OD on the Rubik's team, so he was like looking to be able to steal Repel and then give it to the OD, stuff like that, right? But obviously with just a Wisp, kind of a bit more of a question mark. Complexity, though, the Ursa picked up against the Timbersaw, like this so far. As you said, it makes sure their lanes are going to be better, right? Like, we won't have any problems with dramatically losing the laning phase, or at least shouldn't anyway, with the Ursa bear on your team.
I mean, it's kind of assuming that they don't get aggroed, though. If it's Timber versus Ursa, obviously it's pretty good for Ursa, but maybe they grabbed Rubik for the potential of doing an aggro try again, because they already know what CoL's dual lane is going to be, or at least part of their tri lane Ursa IO, unless they put that mid instead, or they put it top 1v1 anticipating the tri lane. The first pre-rune spawn could be really big like it was last game as well. Put wards down, scout lanes, and then lane against what you want.
So if they do an aggro tri-lane, what do you think would be a possibility? I'm thinking like a Luna, Rubik, and then some sort of defensive hero like Dazzle or Oracle still that could be picked up.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I like the Dazzle idea a lot. Very good in a tri-lane. Obviously, physical damage is always good. Luna against in lane is really solid. I don't know if I like it too much versus Ursa, though.
Yeah.
Because at some point, he'll just jump on her and kill her at the start, even if she has BKB. So I'm not super sold on Luna in the late game, but I think that has to be something they're at least a little concerned about, personally. They could even do something like Drow Ranger. Oh, wait, it's banned. Yeah, something like that. A strong tri-lane. That's what CoL should be worried about. It crushed them last game completely, and it seems like NP has better individual skill in their lanes, at least thus far. At least their rotations have been better.
And Timbersaw, I'm sure, would enjoy whatever 1v1 matchup he will end up getting. There's no Bat Rider. That's one of the harder heroes. There's still an Axe left in the pool, potentially, if Complexity want to get that one. Complexity are concerned about the very defensive supports, though. And that's why we see both the Winter Wyvern as well as the Oracle banned away. That is something that is a problem for Ursa because of the fact that he's so single-target focused. He wants to be able to get that numbers advantage, right? And defensive heroes can put a stop to that pretty easily.
Yeah, and that's another spell that can be used to help people kite Ursa as well. So disables are a big deal. Which is why Slaughter is so good here too. They could do Slaughter tri-lane if they really want to. It's quite a good tri-lane here just because of the strong stun at level 1 and high mobility. Could just be carry Slaughter. They could transition this, like have a good early game and then start roaming around with 4 heroes while Timbersaw catches up a bit. I like it. And it's very good against IO as well, obviously. If there's a relocate, jump in, stun both heroes, kill the IO right away using amp damage. It's going to be a really scary game for IO here.
Our poor Wisp is going to have a hard time surviving against Timbersaw and Slardar. Complexity are going to go for the Witch Doctor for themselves.
Okay.
Why exactly, do you think?
All right, good tri-lane, good laning. They got crushed in lanes before. Witch Doctor's laning is above average, especially if it's just 2 heroes together. Also, with Wisp Tether and Witch Doctor heal, you can double heal somebody, basically with Voodoo, which is quite good. I think it's mostly the laning aspect. Maledict's is really good against Timbersaw. Maledict's really good with Ursa alone.
Yep.
I like that part a lot. PA is a good pick, though. It's very similar to what we saw last game. PA versus 2 squishy low armor heroes.
Which means we're probably going to be seeing our Slardar off lane, Timbersaw mid, and a PA safe lane, unless NP do something a little bit different and run the support Phantom Assassin that has been kind of mucking around in pubs and has made its way to a couple of officials. Purge, have you had the pleasure of playing up against the PA support or watched it?
I actually
in the official?
haven't. Luckily I didn't play enough solo ranked games to encounter people that knew how to do it, but it's really good this game. All of the damage sources on CoL, with the exception of Io's spirits, it's all right click based. The Death Ward from Witch Doctor and Ursa's right clicks. Like Ursa's okay against PA, but even if it's a support here, it's so effective already defensively from what CoL has, and it's gonna synergize so well with Slardar ulti.
Yeah.
And its one weakness, like magic damage, is also protected a bit by Rubik's passive. It's such a good pick this game. Even if it's support, I think it'll work.
All right, well, our fourth pick for complexity, we still need a mid, we still need an off-laner. What do they kind of need to be able to combo
stuns?
I mean, you've got to get it aggressive, right? Like, you've got an Ursa on Radiant side. You want to be able to take control of this game, start getting those Roshans for yourself. You do kind of need some sort of tempo controllers, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that, actually. But what do they pick is the question. They have a good mix of damage. They're a little weak on burst on NP's side, with the exception of Timbersaw, obviously. So, and they have to worry. They have to have magic nukes. I guess a Potom is quite good this game, I would say, actually. I would say I would pick Potom here, I think, for CoL's mid. Lets them set tempo, good early nuke damage. Only downside is obviously Rubik's third skill.
All right, dual lane time, apparently.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So, with Bristleback matched up, well, we're not exactly sure what the matchup's going to be here because either team could, I think, switch up the normal laning phase situation quite a bit. But what is so good about the Bristleback in this matchup? Timbersaw, he can get some higher armor. He's another strength hero. Do you feel like Bristleback's actually good versus Timber, or it's good enough?
I wouldn't say it's good by itself, but with Io, I think it's a good thing. One of the things I mentioned when I was trying to figure out what heroes they'd pick was they have kind of weak burst outside of the Timbersaw, which means Bristleback's already strong. And if you pair that with an Io as well, and especially if you can keep the Io a bit alive, which is hard, obviously, against PA and Timber, but if you can keep the Bristle alive, he can definitely transition into a hard carry, basically. Just like the typical SNY Vanguard build can be quite good. He'll have some damage trouble against the PA, but minimum, he doesn't have to worry about dying to him. And he can still do a lot of damage just by using quills, because those obviously can't be evaded. So I actually like the pick a lot there. It's going to come down to their lane, obviously doing well. I think the biggest threat right now in this game is Slardar getting a fast Blink Dagger, and maybe PA having a good early game. Then Io is going to have a rough time. Witch Doctor is looking less strong as well versus the PA. But I like the pick. I think it's a decent option.
Do you think I think complexity needs some nice hard initiation. Like I was thinking Puck personally, but Sand King was banned away. Do you think that's because they're looking for Timbersaw to be able to get some really nice one-on-one matchup, or is this potentially like Timbersaw mid? Like cobble why Sand King banned specifically when complexity have so many other initiators available to them?
Yeah, that's a good point actually. I think the 1v1, that's definitely one place where Sand King's quite good, is against Timbersaw in a 1v1. So they can force these like 2v1 lanes this way. I really liked your Puck idea, actually. That was one hero that Wings used to counter MVP's strats when they were heavily PA focused, just because it counters his mobility, and it's the same with Slardar, really. That's two very mobile heroes that like to reinitiate, and Puck can really prevent that with silences and Dream Coil. So I kind of like the Puck idea. It's a little reliant on the Puck getting a fast Blink Dagger, of course, but maybe it can work, perhaps. It's a little nuke weak, and yeah, maybe this is a better solution, really. They do have a lot of minus armor from NP, but this comes online faster, and it has much better damage early game.
And it also means the last defensive hero, I can't actually think of another one, maybe Venge with the swap, but it doesn't feel that good. The last defensive hero in the pool was Dazzle, which is, I wanted to talk about him earlier because, Wyvern, Oracle all banned away, but he's not a very popular pickup because Axe is so popular right now. MP, they don't, I think, really have an option support-wise to be able to prevent someone from being bursted down by the Ursa anymore. Dazzle doesn't feel
Shadow
good against
Demon
Axe.
is okay here because of Soul Catcher being good against all these super tanky heroes. But they could go for something else as well. I wonder if like something like AA could be, no, it's banned. It could have been really good. Damage amper, minus heal kind of stuff. Something that amplifies damage is probably the best. Elder Titan's obviously going to be gone in first round.
And there is still the option that we could see some sort of weird switch up, right? PA could be a support if they feel like a different core is more applicable. I just can't possibly think what... Okay, yeah. I was like, maybe some sort of range hero, but I was like, OD's gone, right? It was like, okay, Invoker, that makes sense, right? Like, we talked about last draft, how it feels like it's really powerful with some of the AoE and the kiting mechanisms against some of these melee heroes. I think a Quaswix Invoker would destroy both the Bristleback and the Ursa, two very mana-dependent heroes that want to be able to not be kited as much as possible and want to be able to be in your face, but are still pretty mana-reliant despite being strength heroes.
Yeah, I would agree, but they do have an IO, obviously, so any one Arcane Boots can really solve a lot of that problem that would come from it, and even pure damage alone is going to be very valuable. The only person it won't affect is Bristleback if he's turned the right way, or whoever IO is overcharging. So, and they have Rubik Lift as well, so and Slardar. I think it's definitely going to be Exhort here. They could give Invoker an easy lane and then start moving as 4, basically Timber, Rubik, Slardar, PA. And get a fast Vlads on PA to have some armor advantages against Bristleback. I think that's really their solution here. Just get farmed up. Envy can sit in the safe lane and get those Sunstrike kills rolling.
All right, Kevin, close your eyes for me.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. I want you to guess these lanes on all sides, and if you get it all right, I know it's probably like a super hard game. I need
to see the 5 heroes. Like I can't even remember.
All right,
bad memory. This is not easy. I'm just gonna look at the top of the screen and not
all
look
right.
at the map.
Fair enough.
How about that?
Fair enough. I trust your integrity, Kevin.
I have major integrity. The greatest, the best integrity. Everybody tells me I have great integrity.
Oh, don't start Kevin on politics, guys.
I would probably do. I think Bristle IO versus Timber can work for CoL. And then NP does like a tri-lane with Slardar carry, and then Invoker 1v1 versus who's gonna be left, like Axe or something, or Ursa, I guess could work. Yeah, that's my guess.
All right. Well,
yeah, I guess I think the laning sounds better for NP there, because I think NPs are straightforward personally.
Yeah, I think so too. It's kind of I think you definitely wanted to run the aggro tri-lane with the way they were setting up with the Timber, right? I think they definitely wanted to give him the safe lane no matter what. And none of these heroes will straight up... I mean, I guess Axe can contest in the first 1 or 2 levels, but nobody beats the Timber outright in this pool. So I think they have to do a dual lane, right? And I think you're totally on the mark there. I think Wisp Bristleback is probably your best option. And then I think you run mid as Ursa, because we've seen some mid Ursas before, and mid Ursa is one of those, like I've seen it in some of my pubs, and it's super active. It's really weird. Yeah. It's like the Ursa can roam into these side lanes so early on and have a heavy impact.
Or any camp really. Like you can do Ancients super fast if you get a little bit of lifesteal. You're very variable, and depending on your skill build as well. If you get an Invis or a Haste Rune, that's almost always going to be a kill if they don't see it coming.
Well, I think you were pretty much right, Kevin. It looks like our Rubik's going to be starting off in the top lane, but maybe it's because they anticipate the Wisp to be up there, so they kind of want to match things there. Wisp could bounce back and forth between top and middle. We'll just have to kind of see, but I think for the most part, you nailed it.
Look at the dagger. It's doing so much damage.
Oh, and the Sunstrike comes in. Will be shared by Melons, but it's still not enough. Melons now is actually going to be in trouble as well. They don't want to go for the dive, though. A little bit risky against the Witch Doctor. But still, early first blood already set up by Team NP, taking game number 2 by force.
It's such a good dueling. Slardar's crushed his physical, so the minus armor already helps it out. Like, Axe is normally tanky, but he's lost his 2 base armor. It's really good dueling.
Looks like our mid matchup for Cancel. He's doing all right in the beginning. We'll see as time goes on as he has to deal with more and more of Cold Snap and those Forge Spirits if the lane gets harder for him. But in the beginning, at least,
he's winning.
He seems to be taking pretty good control, even pushing Eternal Envy back, and actually may go for the dive here underneath the tower. Forge Spirits come out, but it's way too late. Eternal Envy, he underestimates the power of the mid Ursa and pays for it dearly.
That's Earthshock, man. That skill's OP. It slows for 4 seconds, and it has a 5-second cooldown. It's like permanent slow. And your hero's 310 movement speed at the start compared to the 280 for Invoker. It's like, if he gets in melee range, it's over. He's going to chase you down there.
Yeah, and his only problem usually in the safe lane or in the side lanes is usually the fact that he doesn't have the mana to sustain that. So usually he is able to just get like you know, one really good kill attempt, right? 2 Earth Shocks
Yeah.
and a use of your Overpower pretty much costs you almost all of your mana. You won't be able to go as well again. But when he's got mid Ursa, I think he goes bottle, and that he's just able to constantly run at this Invoker, especially if he maintains this lead over the Invoker and has the boots advantage.
Yeah, and the Poor Man's Shield just does so much. It'll block damage from the Forge Spirit and from the enemy hero that normally will harass you so well. Like, he's got 3 last hits now. I know Envy isn't exactly known for his Invoker play, but man, this is completely one-sided game so far in mid lane.
Cancel, taking some damage underneath that tower, thanks to a nice cold snap there. But even at half HP, Cancel shows he's willing to contest. Eternal Envy now has to dodge an attempted Sunstrike here. Looks like they made it, even though Rose comes in, dodges a Sunstrike, sure, but still, the kill goes to Eternal Envy.
And that's why you check runes, guys, because sometimes you just get an easy one. You're like, oh, hey, I just got to kill mid. That's a haste rune.
Yep. Especially with that roaming PA and how powerful it is. The double, if you guys haven't seen this before, you go the double orbs, Blightstone and Orb of Venom. You don't even need any health regen because you can just play off of suicides, essentially, since you're going to be roaming around quite a bit. And the best thing is, if you get an early start, you get to level 3, PA hits this really good power spike, where Dagger is doing a lot of damage, and you've got this Phantom Strike to be able to close the distance. This hero is really annoying if he gets that first kill, and he just got it on a high-level Ursa.
Yeah, he's going to be in a good spot. So constantly spamming. There's pretty much nothing Axe can do about this, and every dagger she throws, obviously the damage is buffed from the orb. And she can be anywhere, really. And it's so spammable, too. It's like you can't actually escape it. They did nerf the range recently, but once you get a few levels, it doesn't matter. It's really only nerfed level 1.
Axe trying to challenge the PA with Battle Hunger, but it's just not the same. He desperately needs a wand, I believe, as, again, this is one of those spam out lanes. Meanwhile, top lane, we haven't actually talked about it too much. Looks like they're contesting a pull right now. Oh, are they? Oh, no. Cancel. Gets off the Earthstrike, slows down Rose. They won't be able to finish off that dive. Eternal Envy not having enough mana, looks like, for a Sunstrike to finish off that Ursa.
Yeah, PA didn't get the last vision. She TP'd mid for this one, actually. Ooh, we'll see. Cold Snap could change this.
Still trying to fight this one out. He is going to have the Wisp joining in, and now comes all that extra mana. He will be able to pursue this one out, but the dagger, it's just too damn much of a slow for Cancel to be able to close that gap, and will be kept alive by the Wisp. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're going to be able to get the call here. This is only a level 4 Axe, so unless they get mega lucky on spins, there's no way they can kill the Slardar here, just pushing him back. Rose will be able to TP or move around here, and it looks like they may catch Melons. He's going to be slowed down, hit by the Crush. Nothing our Axe can do. They've already split up. Won't be able to get there in time for the call. And as a result, misses both of them mid lane. Cancel, again, diving onto Eternal Envy, pushing him behind the tier 1 tower. Complexity seem to have the same kind of game plan for both of their dual lanes, but bottom lane, it does turn against them as they lose their support.
There's a lot of diving going on. The only lane that's actually boring is the top one with Timbersaw and Bristle, and that's because AOI is maxing his reactive armor, which I think back when we used to see Bristle Timber 1v1s, they didn't get this many reactives. But now that he has 3 points, he's got so much armor that the Quill Sprays actually do no damage at all.
Yeah, the full physical damage of the Bristleback being completely negated by that reactive armor choice. Now we are going to have, again, the PA trying to rotate in at the right time, tries to go onto Melons, will be able to get that kill. He turned around for the paralyzing cast, ends up costing him at top lane. AY will cut down Moo. 1-5 already, and it's not over just yet. Z-Freak, he's going to need a tether out. His teammate, Cancel, not actually giving him the tether just yet. Will be able to get it now. Runs in, but it's now going to be caught by the Slardar, who made a rotation over. Hits the double stun, taking out the Wisp, and now going to turn on to Cancel, who's going to be kited around, not able to lock on to anybody. Another stun is coming up. We'll finish off Cancel with the bang. 1-7 now, as again, NP take an early lead in game number 2.
It's so weird to look at this game and think how easy it was because of the hero pick. They just got a PA, they play him support, and all this minus armor abuses it. It's so easy for them to get kills, just constantly doing physical damage to these low armor heroes like IO and Witch Doctor, and that's what CoL could have done in the last game if they drafted something like that, or if they were able to exploit that.
The wraparound here, Axe getting very lucky, at least for now. He's going to stop and farm up this camp, and Rose, don't tell me he's going to take the boots. Take the boots! All right, he kept the boots. Axe won't lose those, but he will lose his life, as there's no way this Ursa can TP in time to stop this from happening. Maybe he can get a turnaround kill, but the PA is already a good distance away.
It's not looking good here. Witch Doctor getting caught too.
Pull back, telekinesis straight into Eternal Envy, throws down a paralyzing cask, and unlikely to save him. The uphill hit will hit indeed, and Eternal Envy picks up a killing spree.
He was too close to the creep wave though. I mean, if you're playing support, you need to sit at like your max range to last hit, and he was like half of that.
Yeah.
Definitely affected whether or not he got disabled.
And it's pretty clear AUI does not need the help at top lane, so Rubik's kind of free to do whatever he wants at this point in the game.
Yeah, so smart doing the build that he did. It's harder for him to get a kill. Somehow he still did get a kill. But by doing this build, his supports, they can just move around and kill everybody else. He'll farm Bloodstone, and that's when he starts partying.
Cancel's going to need some help in mid lane. They've got the Amplify damage and the Forge Spirit Sunstrike, but Enrage goes down, nicely timed, but still, the Timber Saw is here to help cattle around Cancel, and he will go down. No TPs in whatsoever from Complexity. They just left him to die. Unfortunately, they don't have relocate yet, as poor Whis is only level 4, and Melons was, he TP'd up to the top lane to try and get some good aggressive vision, but left them very exposed in that mid lane as NP, again, grouping up nice and early. 5-man, just super early on, and always take the numbers advantage when it comes to fights.
And all that CoL has going for them again is a little bit of pressure on the top lane, but AUI is going to come back here. Now he can defend it.
AUI
Especially if they can go Melon.
Decides not to go for Melons here. Maybe he felt like he didn't quite have enough mana or wasn't worth the risk extending himself out there. Either way, he backs up, just defends that tier 1, keeps it alive for now. Maybe they'll go for the deny with the siege creep, bringing it down into range. That's pretty rough. I mean, it feels like it started off better this game than game 1, but it's ending even worse. Like, at least last time around when NP were 5-manning, they got a tower for it. Here, they're not even going to get that much.
Yeah, they got mid tower last time, so that means they should have full control over their jungle. Swindles is moving through it, putting wards down. They're like, ganking Envious here. This is the only way they win.
Oh, Melons. That is not a fight you could take. He may even be caught by the PA. Not a chance here. Will be able to TP out. But that really didn't seem like it was going to accomplish much. If anything, it just kind of shows that, hey, I've got some vision in your jungle. And I had the information to do that, but never could have taken the kill by himself.
Well, I think what happened there was Swindle was just so excited that he had max movement speed because you see he doesn't have boots yet, that he was like, I'm the strongest hero on the map right now. So that's why he did that.
He just felt, he was feeling himself. He's like, yeah, 522
like
movement speed.
So much better than it was a moment before.
That's true.
Moo might die top. Oh, he looks so dead.
Is he? Oh, yeah, he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Meanwhile, bottom lane also looks dead, as they're going to be able to get the amplified damage. Indeed, our Timber Saw dies, and so does bottom lane. Both the side lanes being dominated right now by NP, and there's really nothing going on at mid for Complexity to make a comeback with all this. NP are pushing down towers. They're taking kills. What is Complexity doing? Well, farming jungle a little bit. Not much is happening.
Yeah, he rotated down to try to get a kill, but he doesn't have very good movement speed. Like, it's at the point where he maybe should have just bought a smoke and just smoked into Roche and tried to take it solo. But now their opponents are going to start thinking about it, I think. They'll try to defend top, though.
AUI, fresh out of mana. Maybe they can actually catch him here. They do manage to get the deny. Nice play by Moo, taking the moment there. AUI gets just enough mana, though. Oh, it does bounce back to him.
Lucky.
But still, he's so tanky. I somehow doubt this is actually going to happen. Mid, oh, they got him. Eternal Envy nails Melons, it looks like. He ends up going down with the extra right clicks of the Forge Spirits and maybe the Sunstrike. Not sure. But
yeah, it looks like it hit Sunstrike. I don't know if it hit, but it flew. Everybody's got good KDAs on NP. This is looking real bad. Even the net worth of the PA, it's matching what the Bristleback has.
Remember what
pretty
NP?
Much same farm.
Remember what NP did last time when they had the Wisp on their team? They left a lane open. They left that safe lane open for him to just soak solo experience at some point. And this is something that Complexity is not doing. Z-Freak is doing the opposite. He's actually spending none of his time in lane. He's stacking up, which once the Axe clears it, maybe they'll get level 6, but it feels like that missing that relocate is costing Complexity a lot of control over the map.
Yeah, and what NP did last time was they used the IO to allow their core to kill the Ancient stack fast to get the levels, but they did that much earlier. And maybe the part of the problem was that, I mean, he could have stacked more. He was dual offlane. It's kind of a long ways from the Radiant offlane, though. It's another Sunstrike kill? Yeah,
yep.
He just killed Axe.
Set up with the Blink Dagger, fresh on the Slardar, gets the stun, Sunstrike follow-up. Now bottom lane, we're going to have a fight. Complexity desperate to try and make one work for them. They're trying to go for SVG to start off here. AUI will be able to make a clean escape, and SVG may even get out. As Maledict is not going to be enough by itself. Moo trying to keep up, but isn't going to be able to get there. Now the rest of MP are able to respond. It's a nice stun coming out for the Slardar. Hits onto Z-Freak with the Sunstrike follow-up, but it's not quite enough. They will manage to survive until a dagger comes in, finish them off, cancel, forced to enrage, and TP out. Moo healthy is okay to fight for now, but is running low on mana. They will be able to get the Axe Call and AY. Not sure if that's really the target they want to go for. The pure damage not enough, and now Melons on the backside is being done on by Rose. Should be able to get this kill cleanly as the Axe falls to AY as well. Eternal Envy, the only one who could possibly die, but Moo is fresh out of mana. They will have to relocate in. Hopefully this is going to be enough to actually net them one kill out of this disaster of a team fight, and it does indeed. Eternal Envy goes down. Now the rest of the fight's going to come in as Cancel was able to make his way back into it. They get AUI. That's 2 down from NP, and the beginning of a minor comeback here for Complexity. They're going to look for the PA as well. He does have a Blink Strike up in 1 second, so looks like they're not able to catch him. 4-17 now. They got 2 cores at the tail end of it. Do you think that actually makes the fight even for Complexity?
That's pretty good. If you look at their net worths now, Bristleback's actually matching the Invoker. The Ursa's getting up there too. They just need a little bit of disable, and they need Ursa to hit somebody like 6 times, and they've got to kill every time. And that's the dangerous part here for NP with their big gold advantage, is that any kill that CoL gets is going to net them so much advantage. And Ursa's definitely one hero to do that despite being behind them.
Moo, Bristleback or not, it doesn't really matter. That much damage, even turn into the passive, is just going to overwhelm your HP pool. NP pick up another kill, and again, 4 or 5 manning constantly will take the tier 1 tower bottom lane as well.
Looking good for them. Setting up for a mid kill if somebody does end up showing up, but they're just going to farm the enemy jungle for now. They should be getting more efficiency out of this for a moment at least while NP rotates. At some point, they will also take Roche themselves. In fact, they can do it anytime they want with Slardar, I guess. And they have the lads on top of that.
Yeah, they've got no vision anywhere near that pit. It looks like Complexity do manage to pick it out anyway, with the bottom lane pushing in as well as mid and nobody showing up. They have some idea, but how could Complexity rather possibly contest when NP can do it so quickly with amplified damage?
It's very difficult. They don't even want the Aegis.
Don't even need it. Timbersaw will pick it up though, and almost has his Bloodstone complete. In fact, does. So next team fight pretty important for them. Complexity are getting a lot of gold back in the bank. They get a Guardian Greaves for Moo. Very early one. He needed the extra mana help, so you can kind of see why, but the full commitment to the Guardian Greaves before you have anything else, kind of weird. I guess it gets rid of amplified damage, but
yeah, and actually there's some other things Guardian Greaves does that I didn't realize until I looked at it yesterday. It gives a 2 armor aura always up. Did you know that? Isn't that crazy? It's like a half Vlad's.
Wait, doesn't Mech do that as well? Or is it only when it activated?
Okay. Exactly. That's the big difference. And then obviously if you get below 20% HP, it gives you 15 HP regen and 15 armor.
Yeah.
Single's real dead.
That armor's going to be needed too, as NP ripping through heroes. Ursa's trying to go onto the Slardar right now. Isn't able to output enough damage though, and will start feeling the kiting of the PA. He's going to go back in with the amplified damage. Bad idea though. The Wisp is right around the corner. Will be able to help out Cancel for now. Stuck inside the trees. Will be finished off by the Timbersaw. Relocate out attempted by Z-Freak. Is not going to pull Moo out instead, as Moo wanted to be able to kill the Slardar. Still does not have the damage. Kind of been the whole entire theme of this series from Complexity. NP have always been too farmed in these team fights, and Complexity have just struggled to be able to kill any heroes that they're focused on.
Yeah, and a lot of their advantages are countered by Rubik as well. Like, he keeps stealing strong Witch Doctor skills like Cask. He's even got like the Voodoo Restorations, and he's got Arcane Boots on top of that, so pretty much anything that his opponents want to do, he can do better by also having a strong nuke and a strong disable.
Decides to steal Quills just because he can.
I don't know why. That was a bad choice, but the other ones were... It was that or Goo, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the first fight does go okay for NP. They get themselves another Bloodstone charge. Complexity. Well, right now NP are a little split up. Maybe Complexity can take advantage of that, but all these heroes are so hard to kill and lock down. They have the Blink Dagger of the Axe, but if they're not winning fights, this Axe is very quickly going to drop out of the game. because he doesn't have that Vanguard. He's not surviving through fights. It just means he's going to be a Blink Dagger initiation. That's it.
And he's a strength hero versus a timber saw. It's never really something you want to be, since he can remove your base armor, just blow you up with pure damage.
Yeah, it's one of those games you're desperate for a blade mail, but I struggle to see how he's ever going to be able to get in this game.
Even a blade mail won't help. He has far less HP than most of his opponents. So
yeah,
and against minus armor, blade mail doesn't even work very well because it doesn't take into account that amplified damage from minus armor.
True. Well, double damage for. What, Eternal Envy maybe to pick up? No, Rose, he's like, you know what? I've gotten enough farm. I have Phase Boots and of Lads. That's probably more farm than our PA from Complexity had last game. So, hey, I'm going to go ahead pick up the double damage. I'm the carry now.
This is dangerous. I mean, he does have a Blightstone. Justin didn't grab a Blightstone when he played it.
AUI. Nice jump in there from Slardar. He actually had pretty good guess on where Z-Freak was at. It looks like they managed to find him now with the Timber Saw. Timber Saw dropping lower and lower. Will still be able to get that kill. Now trying to make his way out as Moo chases him with the extra bit of slow. Misses the Timber Chain, but Moo doesn't feel comfortable pursuing. The rest of the Complexity team does not back up Moo and their Whis off of that one. They just try and split push as much as possible, staying away from team fights. Probably for the best idea. NP are grossly overfarmed.
If they grab any more aura items as well, or get something like a mech, then CoL winning a team fight is almost impossible.
They finally got a TP in. Maybe they can actually get this kill. Cancel rips through the Slardar. They'll get that one. Can they actually make it out, though? A dagger gets the critical. Cancel trying to TP out will be okay. Eternal Envy unable to get the cold snap in range.
It's a huge kill on Slardar there, and especially with Ursa getting it. I'm not really sure what he buys next to control the game, but I mean that alone was a 1,000 gold swing. And going to 2 important tiers too, closer to Blade Mail maybe for Axe or whatever he decides to purchase.
SVG matching Moo, Quill for Quill. They're going to try and pursue here. Moo is going to be kited around. AUI keeps the slow of the Chakram on him for as long as possible. Guardian Greaves gives him back up to shape. And up the hill, it's going to be our Axe who's going to be gone on. Instead, AUI will manage to get a nice Chakram pullback, slowed down a little bit by the Wisp, and they'll actually get a call out there. They need to be able to keep AUI in the distance away from this Axe. Cut down by the Chakram, a little bit more. Pullback not in time. AUI taking a lot of Maledict damage. Z-Freak looking for the relocate out, gets Moo out of danger, as well as himself. Melon's hitting in the trees, gets a decent death ward out, but NP now see their opportunity with the Whisk on, as well as the Bristleback. They can push forward. SVG, tit for tat once again. Use the enemy's skills against them. They pick up the 2 supports of Complexity, and CoL left with very few options, but trying to split push and find farm where they can.
See that NV boulder?
What?
You see that NV boulder? See where his forge spirits are? His boulder was like this into the tree, so it's pretty cute.
Oh, I missed it.
Someone's gonna clip that one. That's for sure.
All right.
Wait, you didn't see it, cause dang it. All right, I saw it, guys. It happened. Someone go download the replay. Cancel and trouble.
Cancel.
Oh my god, the damage.
It's too much. It's too much.
The grossest thing about this PA support is it'll become like real carry PA at some point. Like he's 600 gold away from having Deso Vlads. If I was playing like carry PA and I got out 20 minutes, I'd be like, all right, game's going a little bad, but not terrible. But he's a support.
Yeah.
It's just insane. He's so farmed.
5 to 24, 20 minutes in. Moo may just die here in mid lane, but never mind. He's pretty tanky. He's got the Vanguard too now, so he'll be okay for now. He's pretty much the only hero that can show his face in these lanes with some confidence, just because he's tanky as all hell, and he's actually got the majority of the net worth on his team. Even our sort of carry Ursa is only sitting at 7k right now. And it looks like to be going the Skull Basher to try and lock down these heroes when he blinks on them, hoping for a little bit of an RNG blessing.
That's a good idea, especially against somebody like Timbersaw. He could get lucky and just bash him mid Timber Chain, guarantee a kill then, if Timber can't get away. Kind of comes down to what Timber buys next. Very likely and go Shivas, I would say, for a follow-up, considering how much physical damage there is. But
yeah, nice to be able to kite the melee heroes around even further, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hard game for CoL. They've got 2 beefy strength heroes that Timbersaw's strong against. Ursa's kind of similar in some way. Just keep him a bit kited, keep doing the damage. He's got to keep getting kills, but there's just so many heroes that are hard to kill. Maybe Invoker's the person he should be ganking for. They do have vision on him right now.
Eternal Envy,
the easiest one.
Eternal Envy's almost got Axe if he wants it.
feel like he should go
times.
Force or something. I'm
Yeah.
a little unsure, but maybe not. Maybe he still goes Ags, but I feel like he's the only hero that's easy to kill on NP.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
if they fight him, and that's why he's passively farming too.
Especially since he's the highest up there in the net worth, right? He's somewhat the easiest kill on NP, and he's also the most valuable. So, I think that would be a bad consideration for staff, just to be able to increase that survivability. We'll have to see, though, as we are going to get a resume. A Force Staff's going to come out from SVG, who has that at 20 minutes, so that says a lot about this game. He's a hard 5 support, level 11, Arcanes, Urn, and a Force Staff.
He's quite survivable here. Now they do know Envy's top. They're still sitting together pretty hard. Okay, they actually are smoking for him this time. Good.
Turn
This could be what they need.
Seems to be tipped off here. Will manage to get himself away. They had a ward right here. Smack dab over that smoke. And Complexity are not going to be able to find the pick off they were searching for.
Oh, they smoked under the ward and everything. That's too bad.
Oh.
They went for all the next level D wards, like where their sentries are, and they didn't get the obvious one.
Yeah. Complexity using this smoke to now wrap around and get in position and try and get a gank on mid. But again, NP, they seem to know all about it. They say, hey, they smoked up for top lane. They didn't find anything. They're naturally going to wrap through. And now it's actually NP's opportunity. They're going to try and jump on Moo here. Axe not really trying to jump in and stop that one. Instead, they just rely on the relocate save and call it a day. As I believe our poor Wisp is going to get blown up. They actually make a jump forward. Maybe they're going to bring the Bristleback back. Axe is in trouble. He's already down. Initiation from the Ursa. They do bring Moo back. Cancel's already down at half HP. Guarding Greaves now in enraged state. They start going on to Eternal Envy. The highly valuable carry here of NP, but it gets a 4-step push away from the Rubik. Gets dunked on by the Axe, though. Brought back telekinesis. Both the Wisp and the Ursa now down. Complexity fighting with their 2 cores. Axe and Bristleback against the world here. NP jump forward. Will manage to jump onto the Axe, getting a lot of damage. The Amplify will finish him off. Moo, half HP, Amplify damage of his own. Relying on the bristles won't be enough, though. Timbersaw cuts him down to size again. 6-30, 22 minutes in. NP take full control of this game now.
Man, Axis felt so worthless this game. Like, his hero, like, what do you do against a Timbersaw and all of these fast reinitiating heroes? He can't weave in and out that well. And because he lost the early game so bad, he's never been able to stabilize and be the initiator.
Moo, 4-staffed into the enemy team as he's stunned. SVG puts him right in the danger zone. Will be able to slow him down even further, stealing the aftershock from the Ursa earlier and slowing his retreat. The buyback from Eternal Envy seems to be well worth it, as they've already taken the tier 3, killed the Bristleback, and Complexity unlikely to be able to defend without their highest net worth hero. But maybe there's going to be some sort of overextension from NP that will save the day. Melons looking for an opening, paralyzing cast, but again gets 4-staffed into the team, loses his life. Cancel will die as well. The enraged not in time. A call goes out, but Complexity, they call it. The game is over, and so is the series. 2-0. NP take it in such a dominating fashion.
No
Complexity.
kidding.
I mean,
Both
what a
of their
rough start out the
strats,
gate.
Like, yeah, no kidding. Like, both of their strats looked so effective. They fit all their heroes together well. They played their roles correctly, and CoL just didn't stabilize in any way. I really felt like the Axe pick was a complete mistake. It would have been better early, but they still didn't win their laning stage. And then by the time it was mid game against support PA that can reinitiate and stop blink daggers and force Axe to try to kite, like every time they would just delay Axe from reinitiating, it made his hero completely worthless, because his only value that whole game was getting a blink call on like 3 people. The best like Axe contribution I saw was right there before they GG'd, and he was spinning on 3 heroes. Like, yeah. They just got no value out of Axe. They got absolutely no value out of the Witch Doctor because they lost the lane so bad. So like if their safe lane didn't get crushed so hard, maybe they could have a better mid game, but they're just getting completely outlaned by outpicks and outplay.
Once again, we see the draft win coming out from being able to switch what is a potential core into the support position. We've seen it with the Naga Siren. Here we see it with the Phantom Assassin. Obviously set them up to huge success with that Invoker 5 position. And the PA doing so much work as a support, and maybe we'll see it a little bit more in pubs after it makes yet another debut in a competitive game. Meanwhile, Complexity back to the drawing board for them? Did you see anything? I mean, it was hard to, like, there was such a stomp, right? But do you feel like Complexity, they can make it back before Boston Major after this rough start?
Maybe it's possible, but they've got to fix some of their picking stuff. It seems to me like they don't understand the meta very well right now or something, because they're forced into like them grabbing IO right now. I feel like they got beat by IO, so they said whatever, we can play this, but they're not stabilizing their lanes at all, and that's like a basic necessity. Even doing something like forcing yourself into a safe tri lane and doing a solo off lane might be better. That way, if your opponents try to do tricky stuff, you always have full firepower there. But they've got to at least go even on the laning stage, because they're just getting beat real hard there, and it's just disallowing them from playing a regular game.
All right, well, NP will move forward in the Summit qualifiers, sticking in that upper bracket. There is going to be another series after this one. I will not be casting it, though. Your boy Grant is going to be taking over the stream, I believe, for now. So please stick around, check out that next series. I believe it's the Snake King matchup. I think it's Doo-Wop versus FDL versus Doo-Wop. Yeah. So it is the Snake King team. So versus FDL. Should be a very interesting series. Grant knows a lot about those boys, so definitely stick around to watch that cast. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast with me and Purge. Leave us any feedback on social media. See you later, guys.